Hi, welcome to day 2 of the Qdrant Essentials course, and in day 1 we learned how vector search is able to retrieve the most similar vector to a query vector by using distance metrics like Euclidean distance, cosine similarity, and so on. But how exactly does that happen? Well, one way that this can happen is if Qdrant compares every single vector to my query vector using my chosen distance metric to find the closest one to my query vector. This method is known as brute force search. And even though it works, it has a major drawback, which is efficiency. If the collection that we're searching in has millions or billions of vectors, performing a single retrieval would mean calculating distance metrics billions or millions of times. So brute force search is not very practical if we're talking about large-scale use cases for vector search. Fortunately, Qdrant uses an efficient indexing algorithm for dense vectors called HNSW, Hierarchical Navigable Small World, that helps us do this vector search and retrieval more efficiently at a very large scale. To understand HNSW, imagine that you're walking into a library and you're looking for a book, but you only have a brief description of the content of that book. If the books are all piled up randomly in the library, you'd probably have to search for each one by one to find the one that matches your description the best, and that would take a ton of time, especially the more books that we have to compare with. This would be the equivalent of using brute force search for retrieval. I mean, it would work eventually, but it would just take a lot of time. It's just not efficient enough to work at a large scale. But we know that libraries aren't organized like that. They are structured in a way that if you know something about the book that you're looking for, you are naturally guided to the right section and then to the right shelf and then to the right book. So let's say you walk into this library and the first choice that you need to make is either if the book that you're looking for is fiction or nonfiction. This already reduces the amount of books that you need to look through by a good amount. After that, the next level allows you to choose the genre of the book that you're looking for. For example, if you went through the nonfiction section, you would have choices like history, science, biography, etc. You keep moving like that, reaching more specific subcategories until you find the exact shelf and book that the description that you have matches. HNSW works in a similar way to this, building a multi-layered graph where each vector is a node. The idea is that the graph has a hierarchical structure where the top layer has fewer nodes that are more broadly connected, and each lower layer has more nodes with increasingly specific connections. When a query is performed, HNSW starts from an entry point in the top layer and navigates down through the graph, progressively moving from broader to more specific connections. At each layer, the algorithm searches through the nearest neighbors of the current node to find the best path forward. It continues this process, refining search as it moves down through the layers of the graph until it reaches the lowest level where it selects the final nearest neighbors. This way, Qdrant avoids having to do brute search across all of our vectors, narrowing down the search space by a significant amount, making search still very precise but also fast. Now, imagine your query vector is the embedding of the sentence that we saw before, striped blue shirt made of cotton. The search begins at the entry point in the top layer of the graph, where the nodes are more loosely grouped by broad categories like clothing or accessory items. The algorithm will search for a neighbor that's closer to our query vector than our current node. If it finds one, it repeats the process. If that's the best node that it could find in that layer, it descends to the next layer and repeats the process. Each time, our search becomes more refined, narrowing down our results from clothing to shirts and then other characteristics like blue and striped. When it reaches the layer 0 or the final layer, it's able to retrieve from our vector database the result that matches our query vector the closest. In this case, was cotton-made maritime shirt. We can fine-tune how our HNSW graph is built by fine-tuning a few parameters to balance search speed with accuracy, memory usage, and also the time that it takes to build the index. The M parameter controls the number of connections per node in the graph. You could think of it as how many paths each node can maintain with its neighbors. Increasing the M parameter creates a denser graph where each node is connected to more neighbors, which improve search accuracy because then you have more pathways to traverse when searching for the nearest neighbors. This will make it less likely that you will miss relevant vectors to your query. However, this also increases the memory usage and also the indexing time since more connections have to be maintained. Reducing the M parameter makes the graph sparser, reducing the memory usage and speeding up insertion. However, the search quality will probably decrease since we have fewer paths available for traversal. Usually, the M parameter stays at a range from 8 to 64, and the trade-offs of it is accuracy and memory efficiency. When we add a new vector to our HNSW index, our goal is to integrate it within our existing structure efficiently without losing accuracy and preserving performance. In Qdrant, this assignment happens during the indexing process, and it helps keep the graph navigable and balanced. One important factor influencing this process is the EF construct parameter. It controls how thoroughly the graph is built when inserting a new vector by controlling the number of nearest neighbors considered during insertion. Setting a higher EF construct means that more neighbors will be evaluated, creating a more comprehensive and accurate graph. However, this also makes the indexing process slower and more computationally demanding. On the other hand, if we lower the EF construct, we're going to speed up our indexing process. However, the graph will be built with less optimal connections, which can affect our search accuracy. So choosing the right EF construct is a matter between choosing a balance between indexing speed and graph quality. For most cases, values between 100 and 500 work well, but the more complex your data gets, the higher the EF construct that you might want to consider. We can also choose how many neighbors we want to evaluate when performing a search, and this is done by the EF parameter. Higher EF values lead to more accurate search results because the algorithm will be searching through a larger neighborhood. However, this will naturally also increase the time that it takes for your query to be performed. Lower EF values will lower also your search accuracy because less neighbors are considered during the retrieval, but it can also speed up your query time. Good values for the EF parameter can range from 50 to 200, depending on how much accuracy you're willing to trade for speed. In this table, you can find an overview of the parameters, and remember that tuning your HNSW can really define the accuracy and the speed and the performance of your system. Qdrant optimizes memory by storing only indexed vectors into the HNSW graph. This is why your collection can contain vectors that are not currently indexed due to optimizer settings. Smaller collections may not trigger HNSW indexing at all, and this has to do with the indexing threshold that is set for your collection. In those cases, a full scan search or brute force search, like we talked before, is used until indexing is needed. To see whether your vectors are actually indexed and how, you can use the getCollection method to retrieve back information from your collection, such as vector count or index vector count, and also your HNSW configurations. But what happens with our HNSW index when we start to filter out vectors using payloads? Well, let's talk about that in the next video.